to where it's right there. Boom, 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 it's a crutch.
How about some Michael Jackson?
Ow!
Yeah.
Hold on,
that was scary.
That's how I know what sync that was.
People all start doing the moonwalk
at the same time.
Yep, yep.
It's funny. We busted into the moonwalk at the same time.
Camera.
Oh, it is.
Alright.
Press control. That's right. You ready?
Yep.
Alright. Only in hill.
First, I know that I am able to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent continuous action towards the stated, and I hereby now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of suggestion and any desire to persistently have my mind will eventually themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily demanding myself to develop a self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I have only realized that no wealth or position is long in the world unless known upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which is not under the law of acts. I will seek to keep my time with myself before service to you and the cooperation of other people. I will use others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfish cynicism by developing a love for all humanity because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I'll become a self-reliant sense of person. Hoorah! Alright, 12 steps. This is the 12-step formula, the minimum standard of which, when followed with exactness in a positive environment, guarantees 24 plus transactions annually and unprecedented personal growth and achievement. 1. I dedicate 1 hour daily toward fully protecting my self-confidence. 2. I practice and internalize my sales skills for a minimum 1 hour each day. 3. I contact my sphere of influence by mail, by phone, and or in person, and by email quarterly. 4. I make 150 plus contacts per week, 30 plus per day, by phone or in person. 5. I follow all my qualified leads daily. 6. I have appointments for these by our personality. 7. I completely pre-qualify on the 100% of my appointments. 8. I have an appointment to attend and listen to a ratio of 50% or greater. 9. I call all the leaders. 10. I sell 75% or more of my listing inventory. 11. I'll return every signed call, contact every buyer within 2 hours a week prior. 12. I will work with highly qualified buyers who have been qualified by a mortgage lender and have signed a buyer broker agreement. Earn more commission, less time, and less energy spent. I recognize that success comes from consistent action and result in creative outcomes. Therefore, I commit to following every step of 12 steps on success. Woo! Tony Robbins. Now I'm the voice. Now I'm the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a force for good. I am a leader. I'm a leader. Defy the odds. Defy the odds. Setting and sharing with it. Step up, step up, step up, step up, step up, step up. All right, open the affirmation. Woo! I'm a professional salesperson who gets home sold. I use information to help my clients achieve their goals. I price what is right. I focus on small wins every day. Real estate transactions are abundant in the market. My ability to succeed. I get stronger with every step. I'm the master of every situation. My confidence is shaken because I do it with integrity. I always have productive thoughts. I take excellent care of my body. I start each day with an abundance of energy. I am task-oriented. I set clear priorities daily. I know what I want to get. I attract and enjoy greater financial budgets each day. My gratitude gives me a limited financial success. I think prosperous thoughts. I am prosperous. I handle my money wisely and I profit every day. Taking action is easy for me. I am eager to start each day. I enjoy being debt-free. I exercise daily. I enjoy helping my clients succeed. I eat healthful foods. I'm a real estate expert. My SOI expects me to be their real estate expert. I I use technology to succeed. I get mentally stronger with every call I make. I'm an outstanding salesperson. I'm a powerful agent. I know how to succeed. I keep positive, exciting, productive thoughts running at all times. Yes! Woo! Morning. 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 Morning.
Smallest circle.
Right? Woo! Right? I know, I get in there, I felt like I'm in the ring ready.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right?
go.
All right, well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Last, at least for my kids, last weekday without school. School starts Monday for my kids.
Woohoo.
I know, right? That's what my wife's saying. I am so ready for that. So, anyway, so actually one of my gratitudes actually is last night because of that. Well, actually, let me even back up. I have a sister-in-law that is building a new home in Grantsville that I'm helping her. But she continues to go every single day and see what houses come on the market. And anything that is even a possibility, she then calls me and says, I want to go see it. And so last night I said to my wife, do you want to go with me to drive out to Grantsville to go show your sister a house that she was going to walk in and say, I don't want to buy? And then, so she said yes. And so my wife and I drove out there, had a little date to drive out to Grantsville and open the door, and my sister-in-law walked in and said, ugh. I'm like, just be happy with the one you're going to get. But so anyway, driving home, my wife said, this is our last, tomorrow's kind of the last day before school starts. I want to do something impulsive with the kids. So my gratitude is last night we, at 9:45, grabbed the kids, went to Chick-fil-A and got a shake and a cookie and had an enjoyable time. So anyway, it was fun. So what gratitudes or victories do you guys have? Tony?
So yesterday I had a really good lesson that I learned. You guys
Yes, I know what you're going to say.
So, yeah,
Say it.
If you
You're
have,
so funny.
If you have a buyer and they're going to buy a manufactured home where the owner has the pink slip and it's going to be a cash deal, don't blow it off. If your buyer gives the $500 check to the owner and the owner says, okay, I'm probably going to deposit this. So
Tony,
I've always assumed that owner would take it to a title company or to somebody.
Yeah.
I was corrected.
Yeah.
So at the most, it's going to cost me $500 to close up. But
He said, is that a problem? I said, not if it closes. It won't be a problem at all. It's just if the buyer for some reason decides to cancel and wants their earnest money back, you might have a challenge.
you see, if they're in cahoots, it's the wife or the husband, and the teenage daughter all together. If they're in cahoots to do that, so
Cool.
over there, but.
Well, awesome. Thank you.
The good news is you go in under contract.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
It's always a bright line, right?
Good. What other gratitudes or victories?
My 3-year-old is officially potty trained. I can't tell you how excited I am to not flush a $50 bill down the toilet once a month.
Right?
That's pretty good. Awesome. Good. Rick?
I'm grateful when you're here and not gone, because the load of handling
Here.
the pieces is sometimes overwhelming. And when you have an extra hand on deck, it really makes life much, much easier.
And you know I'm going to California on Monday.
I know!
Are you really?
Yeah, I'll be back Tuesday, and then going to St. George Wednesday. Paul?
I'm glad I don't have to commute 3 hours to work each day one way. I've got, I used to live in Northern California. I actually reside here, but I used to live in Northern California for about 16 years.
Wow.
Made a commute, and still have a lot of friends there. They're moving out of San Francisco just because there's offers and rehab things going on. Buildings are being, redone, and they're getting pushed out. And so this one friend of mine, he moved to Stockton. Better value, but he has a 3-hour commute.
Wow.
Whoa.
And he's doing that daily?
I do not understand.
No,
8 minutes is the max
I told him, I
here.
said, he was asking me, he says, well, what's going on in Utah? I said, well, you read it. We got a lot of jobs here. It's affordable, and so anyway.
Get 6 hours of your life back every day?
6 hours. He's up at 3:30 a.m.
Wow.
That's my parents'
to
life growing up.
catch the one large commuter train to get to the BART system and so forth. He's up at about 3:15 a.m., 3:30 a.m.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
They quantified that somehow.
That's a quarter of your day.
They quantified a commute for income, like an hour commute each way equals 40,000, should equal 40,000 in income, so that should be.
Yeah, no, it's, and that's, he makes great money, but there's a huge price he's paying.
But that's normal in California.
Yeah.
That was my
3 hours?
my
No.
whole upbringing.
3 hours is not normal.
That was normal in California.
3 hours, and that's.
My stepdad, we live in Sacramento, my stepdad worked in the Bay Area, and it was like a 2
That would
hour
be.
commute.
Wow. Huh. Crazy. Well, I guess, like you said, be grateful for what we have, right? Awesome. Who else?
So my kid's playing varsity soccer at Copper Hills.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's great. Congrats. That's cool. Good job.
Oh, sorry, I should add to my first one is that while that was going on, I was biffing that. But yesterday, my daughter was undergoing surgery to have her appendix out.
Holy
But
cow.
it came out nicely.
Nice.
Good.
Good deal.
Awesome.
That was much fun.
Cool. Anyone else?
I'm grateful for my coach that is pushing me out of my comfort
Good.
entirely.
Is that why you're sitting on the front row?
No.
No. She wants to be in the splash zone. So.
Very calm, you're on camera.
Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Good. So just a couple of reminder things. So we've got the call around on next Thursday, the 24th. I think that's Thursday, isn't it? From 4 to 6. So plan for that. The September 12th, the accountability mastermind group on the big cheese that scares you. I think I wasn't here when that was put up there, but
Yeah, what the idea is to go set an appointment with somebody who scares you, who you normally wouldn't set an appointment with and have a conversation with.
So I made mine with you.
so that's
You're
done.
good to go, what? That's funny.
Cool. And then the other thing is actually we've got a 2-hour CE class today from 10 until noon in here that Vanguard has somebody coming in. I think it's one of their employees, I think.
It's
that's
the
teaching.
attorney, I think.
Is it the attorney?
I think so.
But it's on title red flags, so just covering the things to keep an eye out for as you look for a preliminary
Is this CE?
report. 2 hours of CE.
2 hour CE.
So.
Yeah, take advantage of those guys because, you know, your license sneak up on you really quick. Mine is January, and
We'll put it on our calendar.
I looked at it and thought, holy moly, where am I at? It's a lot of hours to try to
Yeah.
tuck in a couple weeks.
Yep. Okay. Good. And then obviously we still got Tony Robbins. That pricing is still available through the 21st, which is Monday, I believe. So anyway.
I heard there's something in September here where he's going to be here. Is
Yeah,
that
the
true?
22nd.
Yeah.
Really?
September 22nd, I think.
Maverick Center.
At the Maverick Center. It's him, Gary Vaynerchuk, I think a few other people. It's like $80 or something, I think, to go.
Cool.
So common.
It's one of those sample things where you go and they.
It's 80.
Sample tray.
That's what it is.
Yeah, where they basically try to sell you on it, so on some other things.
Tray.
All right, so couple things that I wanted to cover with you guys today is number one, just the importance, and I'm going to keep this one pretty short, at least I think, but just the importance of taking responsibility for where you're at and what's going on. While I was in California last week doing training, and an agent down there, so when I go down there, it's a week-long training that I do from 9 o'clock until 4, Monday through Friday. Well, I had an agent that had been there Monday, Tuesday. He wasn't there on Wednesday, but then on Thursday he showed up in the morning early, got to the class early, and it was just he and I there, and he said, I'm glad that you're here and we can have a conversation, just the two of us. He said, I got a phone call from my manager last night telling me that they were terminating me from Century 21, and I wanted to talk to you about it. And I said, well, yeah, that's not a normal thing that would happen, especially when somebody is showing up and participating. And so I said, well, what's going on? And he said, she called me and said that she was letting me go because I have not produced 12 transactions in the last year, and because I don't show up to any trainings. And I said, well, that's weird. You've been here Monday, Tuesday, and you're here now today. Like, I would never guess that you're not showing up. And so I actually said, well, let me see what I can do to help you. So I contacted the lady down there, which would be the equivalent to Jeremy Laguerre here, the general manager, and said, hey, let's find out what's going on, because it's just, to me, again, if people are participating and showing up, it's not a normal thing. And so we contacted the manager, found out a little bit more about it, and then he got back together with him at lunch and just said, okay, basically your manager just hasn't seen you. You may be showing up to like the training I was doing and other trainings, but the manager hasn't seen you at your office. And so let's put together a business plan that will help you, or help you to go present to her to say, here's what I'll do, give me a chance to produce. So I helped him put together a business plan, which actually looked a lot like our 12-step Summit to Success, of essentially just saying, look, let's just make a commitment that you will talk to 150 people a week or 30 people per day, and then go talk to the manager, ask her if she'll coach you once a week to even listen in on your calls, help you make sure that you're on track doing what you need to do. And he said, okay, so we put it together, but then after the class was over, so at 4 o'clock he sticks around and then starts to tell me all of the reasons why he couldn't do it, without saying that I can't do it. But he was saying, well, are they going to give me a desk? Are they going to have a desk for me to call from? And I said, well, I don't really know. I don't know your office, but I'm sure there's somewhere you could call from. Well, what about a phone? Are they going to give me a phone? And I said, well, I don't know, but you've got a cell phone. Well, are they going to give me a headset? I mean, so you kind of get where I'm going, is like he was looking for all the reasons that he wasn't going to be able to do it, and to shift the responsibility from being his fault, or him being the reason that he wasn't succeeding, to it was the brokerage's fault. And I said, look, just do the context. Don't worry about how you're going to do it, meaning if you're going to use your cell phone or something, just decide I'm going to do it. Okay, left. I got a text that night from the general manager down there saying he had emailed his manager and resigned. So just take responsibility and recognize that your success is dependent on you. Don't look for all the reasons that you can't do stuff. Look for, and I actually said that to him as he walked out the door. Quit looking for the reasons why you can't, and start, and I even said, give me one reason why you can succeed, before he walked out the door, and he couldn't. So anyway, that was the one thing. The second thing I actually want to hit on with you is I've got, and some of you I know have seen this before, but I want to show you, every year NAR puts out a survey. They do a survey of home buyers and sellers. And so every year they release this in November. So what you're going to look at is the, I may have pulled up the wrong one, but that's okay. I think I pulled up the 2015 versus 2016, but it's essentially the same. So what I want you to do, though, is to look at is a couple of things off of this survey, this chart that they do. So every year they do this survey where they will send out to people who have either bought or sold a home in the last year. So in July of every year they send out this survey to, and they use just tax records so that it includes for sale by owners, which is what I've got pulled up here. And what happens is they send out the survey, and then they spend a few months, following up on it, getting people to send it in. By September, so next month, the 2017 they'll start compiling it, and then in November they release it at the NAR convention. So this, which I did pull up the 2015. This is the 2015, but regardless, the numbers haven't changed really. So, but as you look at this, what you will see is on this. And the key piece I want you to see on this is there's two things on this particular one. Of all the homes that sold, what this is saying is 9% of all homes that sold were a for sale by owner, meaning 9% of the people who were trying to sell their home for sale by owner actually did it. So 9% of the homes that sold were a for sale by owner, which means the other side of it is saying 88% were agent assisted, which is fine. But here's the key thing that I want you guys to see is I remember back in about 2003, as the internet was getting to the point where everyone kind of just had it in their house, what was happening was there was this word out there that what was going to happen is travel agents were going to go away, which they pretty much I mean, they're still there, but not to the extent they used to be. And real estate agents would go away, and that you wouldn't need to go to the doctor anymore because you could actually just go online and diagnose yourself and figure out, what?
That is true. Now you can just call in and do a FaceTime.
Well, yeah, so you can do a FaceTime now, but that's different than what was going on here. Whoa.
Change is good.
No, keep snoozing.
$49 and you don't have to
Keep
pay
snoozing so we
anything.
don't lose that. All right, so here's the interesting thing though, is actually I have two neighbors that are both OBGYNs. In fact, when I need a doctor, I actually always joke that I go see my OBGYN, so. But actually.
FaceTime that.
But when I was talked to him, one of my neighbors about this, he said actually what has happened though is people would go online and research their symptoms, and everybody feels like, oh no, I'm dying. And so it increased the number of people going to the doctor, which is what I want you to see here, is in terms of for sale by owners, notice what happened. In 2003, 14% of all sales were for sale by owners. Versus today, and I will tell you, 2015 and the 2016, it's the same, is 9%. 9%. So what has happened as more people have gone online and Google and all those things?
Now they're more concerned.
They realized how much more they need us that they don't know. So notice that that's what's going on. The second thing in terms of this, that I want you to see, and like I say, I know some of you have seen it
Do you
before.
think that's in part because they realize that an online presence is more important?
I think it also did.
For sure.
So and they can't create the online presence that's required.
I don't know what happened here.
I think too, it made real estate agents far more effective because we have the MLS online and.
No, it has, definitely.
We don't have books.
I remember carrying that stupid book around and Weekly magazine. Now I call it stupid back then. It's like, no, you're not taking it from me. It's mine.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
You're stupid going online.
What was the book? It was a phone book?
A dang near phone book.
Just a
Yeah.
listing book, right?
Yeah.
So here's the other thing on this. Let me get this chart pulled up. Why won't it switch?
I look back and I laugh now because of the fact that you were so comfortable with the way things were done.
All right, sorry, I can't get it to work in full screen mode, so you may have to step up here if you want to see it. All right, but the selling price. Notice the average selling price of a for sale by owner is $208,700 versus agent assisted is $235,000, which now those numbers obviously, this being the 2015, 2016 is a higher average sales price, but the percentage really hasn't changed in terms of what's the difference between 235,000 and 208,700, meaning what percentage wise?
It's
about 12.
About 12%.
12.
So they're trying to save 6%
To lose 12.
to lose 12. So this again, just keeping this in mind that even though in their mind they think they're trying to save money, they're really not saving money by.
This would be excellent to take with you on your listing presentation.
My
So-
my favorite
No.
is that you.
Oh, sorry, you want me to
No,
go back?
People
sorry,
think
I
that
was just gonna
they're
write that other number down.
saving,
That's right.
they're saving a lot by selling to a friend, but they
Where's
actually
this?
get the worst,
What's that?
Still.
which is.
Can you email that to us?
So actually, I don't think I can because I think it's copyrighted. I'll double check that. But you can purchase it if you want. If you go to realtor.org, it costs $20 to get, and it's a report that has tons and tons of information. It costs $20, but you got to make sure you've logged into realtor.org, which is basically NAR's site for the realtors. So realtor.org, I think you have to have your NERDS number to log in, but you can buy it if you just did a search 2016 profile of home buyers and sellers, and then it's $20 and it gives you tons of information. So, but
November.
there's two other charts that I wanted you to see that I want to drive home a point on. This is the method used to find their real estate agent by repeat and first-time sellers. So as you look at that, what stands out to you? What is the best way, according to this survey, for you to get sellers?
Referral.
SOI.
So number one is referred by or is a friend, neighbor, or relative. Number two is use the agent previously to buy or sell, which really both of those added together would be your SOI, right?
Yeah.
And it's 60%. 60% of sellers chose their agent based on their SOI, basically, right? So hopefully what you're seeing, what I want you to see from this is the importance of contacting the people in your SOI. If you are not contacting the people in your SOI, you are letting business fall through the cracks.
60%.
Because, yeah, 60% of the time, people are choosing their agent as a result of
Wow.
being a referral.
Facebook's at the bottom.
Yeah, isn't that interesting down here? This crowdsourcing through social media is an asterisk, which means it's less than 1%. So make sure you do a lot of that, right? And advertising, especially the calendars, magnets, 1% of the people chose somebody based on that. So obviously, just the important piece of it is make sure you're staying in touch with your SOI, contacting them, asking them, letting them know that you need their help. If you will contact them and just say, I could use your help in finding people that are buying or selling a home, you create this force that goes out to work for you. Eric?
I was just going to say, in the last 30 days, I've made a point to call my SOI, and I found out since I've started real estate, I've lost out on 4 deals.
Yeah.
I'm not calling that out of the 90 people that I've reached, I've lost out on 4 deals.
Wow. Yeah. And that's just it. That's what I'm saying is if you are not, I have said this for years, so the number really is probably higher than I'm going to say, but if you're not doing at least $100,000 in this business, it's because you're not contacting your SOI and deals are falling through the cracks. Meaning there are people that either think you don't want to help them or they think you specialize in a different area than what they're doing or something.
Or you're out of business.
Or you're too busy.
Yeah, or too busy.
Quit.
And they say that you should get 10% of your SOI, and that lines up with your 490.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, very good point.
And your SOI class is probably one of the best I've ever seen in managing that and the refinement process out of it. You guys all can attend that.
Yeah,
That's a good one to watch.
that is true. All right, just the last one here, which is the same thing, but just for buyers, how buyers find their agent. And what you'll notice as you look at this is essentially the same. 40% were referred by or is a friend, neighbor, or relative, and 12% used the agent previously. Now here's the key thing I wanted to show you guys on this. Notice under repeat buyers, 17% of the repeat buyers, only 17% used the same agent.
Wow.
Shows we're not doing our job.
Well, that's kind of the point, is why would that happen? Is because we're not staying in touch. If you're not staying in touch with the people, they assume either you don't want to help them, you're too busy, whatever. What's that?
You're not.
Or you're out of the business, because usually the question when they call you, and what did they say?
Hey, you still in
Hey,
business?
Hey, you still doing real estate?
Sometimes people
They
don't
really
even
do.
remember the name, like a lot of times people don't even remember the name of the agent. that they
Right.
used. And so if it's not so if you're working with your SOI, obviously they're gonna remember your name. But if it's somebody that you just met, it doesn't matter how many houses you show them. I can't remember that guy's name. We bought with him 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
So one of the things that's not a bad idea to do is when you do sell a listing, adopt that client.
Yep.
Start, contact them a few months later and just say, hey, just want to touch base, make sure everything's good. Because their agent probably is not.
Yep.
So, Tony?
My wife early on in her career, a long time ago, back in the old days, found out that she hated prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
Not that hated it, but much rather just sell to people that she knew and build. So she's always looked at her clientele as an annuity. As in, they will keep giving if she keeps communicating and being.
Yeah, she is very successful. I mean, she does a good amount of business,
Yeah.
so it works.
Yeah, she's only doing, she does prospect every day on purpose, but it's because her assistant's like making her and timing her and stuff. But for the most part, she's 90% of her business every year is from SOI.
From the SOI,
Or
exactly.
extensions thereof. Her SOI has just gone, just blossoms now.
Yeah.
So.
I think something to remember with SOI, and for me as well, is, when I was doing it, my husband was like, but those guys, they can't even, buy a house, or those guys, they just bought a house. So why would you go and reach out to them or drop them, these, visit them? And usually it was those that, it wasn't them directly, they always referred me someone. And that's how it was. It was never them directly. It was always, a friend.
Yeah, my best friend growing up probably has been my best source of business, and I've only actually helped him one time, but he has referred so many people that I've done business with. So you're exactly right. It's not just about them doing a deal. It's now you're tapping into their SOI as well to get business. So anyway, the thing that just, the side note, funny thing that I always think on this is first-time home buyers, 2% of those first-time home buyers use the agent before. So Eric gets it.
We get it.
You get it, it's just not funny. I guess to me, I'm like,
I wasn't listening, but I was
yeah, see? So anyway, just kind of funny, but then the other thing, so the top
Maybe that
two.
means they just use the same.
That was a
word as selling
geek
the
joke,
house.
just so you know.
That was a what?
A geek joke.
Yeah, exactly. So the top two on this is basically SOI. Number 3 is other. So if we could figure out what other is, that would be the third best way to go about getting clients. But anyway, so.
Sandwich boards.
You're not a comedian.
I know, apparently not.
Tell me more about this.
That was a thinking joke. So, anyway. All right, so here's the key. Just don't forget about your SOI. Yeah. I know Mike's ready to close it out. So, but don't forget about your SOI. If you're not contacting between 3 and 5 people a day, start doing 3 to 5 people a day. Start with the easy ones if you need to, but make sure you are contacting 3 to 5 people in your SOI every single day. And if you will do that, you will find a ton of success. So, all right, let's close it up. Woo! I'll get it.
They have
Oh,
it.
yeah. I'll get it. I just put you to sleep with that.
Those were some really good stats. Thanks for that again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh,
Realtor.org.
you'll actually see me if I sit in the front.
Yeah, Realtor.org.
Yeah, well, you know.
The nomads.
Oh,
Come on, Russ, crank it.
Oh, wow. That was a great one. I'll go back. That went over like. All right, here we go. All right, I succeed because I acted my goal. I'm an optimist. I like talking to people. I know what's important to me. I remember people's names. I have a daily plan to follow. I am passionate about real estate. I don't insist in my grade school. I like asking questions and listening. I enjoy reading to improve my sales skills. My thoughts and my emotions are actually good. I focus on my things daily. My presentation is powerful persuasive. I improve my skills daily. I'm happy. I love the ball making of my business. I see my future is awesome. I love my life. I am grateful and thankful. I control my future. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I use my beliefs and opportunities today. I get things done. I provide excellent customer service. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. I discipline and run on a daily schedule. I prospect daily. I set appointments daily. I'm a master persuader. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I'm passionate about my life. I live every day with purpose. I'm confident in my sales skills. I know my destiny. I'm healthy and strong. I'm powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep talking. Yes! All right, let's do the objections.
I object.
Although I was too wordy, it's quarter to already.
What?
All right.
You're so funny.
I don't know. Did you have a 5-hour, Russ?
I did not.